Hi, are you Amanda?
Yes, I am.
Hi, I'm Emily. It's nice to meet you. Come on and have a seat. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. Okay, well, you're here for your very first appointment to get enrolled for your classes.
Yes.
So let me just explain a little bit about me and what we're going to do today. My job is, I'm your advisor, obviously, but I also do much more than that. I am here to help you with whatever I can, whether it's related to school. It can be maybe you're having a lot of stress, or your tests aren't going quite the way you would like them, or you're having a hard time getting a hold of an instructor, whatever it is. Or it can be personal. If you have a sick child and you're running late and you need to get a hold of someone, I'm here to help you in any way I can. So much more than just advising. And also today what we're going to do is just get to know each other a little bit more, so you know me and I know you, and then I'll answer any questions that you have, and we'll go ahead and get you enrolled for your classes that start this fall. Okay?
Good.
All right, so before we jump into the enrollment, why don't we go over any questions you have?
Okay.
But first, I would like to know a little bit more about you. What brought you to the Pratt program? What kind of things have you experienced that brought you to us?
Well, I am a newly divorced mom, and I have a 4-year-old, so I decided that I needed to go back to school, and make a little more income to support her on my own. So I grew up in Pratt. We live in Pratt. So she's 4 and she goes to preschool and to daycare. So I was kind of wondering how that was going to work with the schedule of classes and stuff too, so that I could still work and still be able to spend time with her in the evenings too.
Yeah, that's a really good question. We have a lot of students who are curious about what their schedule is going to look like, how much they'll have time to work, and then still have a little bit of time on the side to do those family things and to have a little bit of free time, because that's important too. And what I like to tell students is that I've seen it all directions. I've seen students who will work full time, and they might struggle a little bit, but they do it and they make the money they need and they still are successful in the program. And I've also seen students who are just part time, and I've of course seen students who are able to not work at all. Of course, I know that for everyone that's not a very realistic option. For most people, at least part time is necessary. So what I usually recommend is start off the semester with working the minimum amount of hours you can afford, and then kind of just gauge how the first few weeks go. You should have a pretty good idea after a few weeks as to how much time you think you're going to have to be studying, how much time you're going to have to be in class, and then what other things you have going on in your life.
Right.
And then kind of adjust your schedule accordingly so that you can work more or less. Depending on, of course, how flexible your job is.
Right.
So I would do it that way, though, and just so you have a better idea. And I also like to tell students to remember that we consider the nursing program a full-time job. So if you are going to be working full-time, you'll basically be working 2 full-time jobs.
Okay.
So just kind of keep that in mind, too, that even though it may look like you're only in class 3 days or 4 days, it's still going to be closer to 40 hours a week by the time you have class, and and then of course you're studying, and when you get into your clinicals and those kinds of things. So keep that in mind too.
Okay, I will. Yeah. Thank you.
But that's a good question.
Okay.
What else do you have?
Well, the financial aid office, I went there and they told me, I needed to go get a payment plan. So I went to the financial aid office, but then they told me to go to the business office. But I guess I thought we did all of that in the financial aid. Is that not where you go for that?
No, it's kind of confusing. There are 2 separate offices. We have the financial aid office and we have the business office, and they kind of do 2 separate things. The financial aid office is where you go, where you complete your FAFSA, where you can apply for scholarships, find out about if you qualify for grants or any other federally funded type of things. They kind of keep track of all of that. And then the business office is where you pay your bills. They keep track of your student account, and then you can set up a payment plan if you need to.
Oh, okay.
And it's important to contact the business office because those payment plans are actually set up on an individual basis. So, students might have different dates that they pay and things like that. So it's kind of case by case. So that's why they're asking you to contact the business office to do that.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense then. Okay.
Yes, it is a little bit confusing.
And I do have one other question. Sometimes when I take my tests, I have a little bit of anxiety, I get nervous. Is there anything you guys recommend or can help with as far as that goes with all the testing that we'll be doing?
Yes, that's a really good question, because as you know, the nursing program it is rigorous. You know, it's a program that you're entering, and there will be quite a few tests. And I don't know if you're aware or not, but the grading scale is a little bit different actually. 75 and above is what you need to pass.
Oh, okay.
So it's a little bit different than normal. So anxiety does sometimes become a factor just because of the higher grading scale and the pressure to do well. I do have a lot of different material on test anxiety. I have some different booklets, and I also have several websites that I can show you that are really good. You know, there's lots of information on them, and I would love to sit down at another appointment and go over some of those things.
Okay.
A little bit more in depth if you have time to do that. Maybe we can schedule a follow-up appointment. Okay, we'll definitely do that before you leave.
Okay.
And then of course there are some, you know, kind of basic things that you may be familiar with already and maybe you're already trying. But just like taking a deep breath when you're starting to feel yourself get a little bit anxious or overwhelmed, and then you know, stopping what you're doing. If you're in the middle of a test, stop for, you know, just 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Put your pencil down, you know, close your eyes if you need to, and just kind of calm yourself down.
Right.
Take that just to relax a little bit before you jump back into it.
Yeah.
But like I said, I do have lots and lots of things, and we could probably spend several hours just talking about it. So we won't do that, but maybe we'll go ahead and schedule that follow-up appointment for next week, just to you know, kind of get you a little bit more prepared before you start the program. Right. It's always better to stay on top of it now. Right. So we'll do that before you leave today.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
Okay, great. Yes.
And then also my books. Where do I go get my books? How does the book part of it go?
Yes, I don't have a list of required books, but they are available online through your self-service account. And for each course, it'll just give you the list of books that you need to buy, and then you can of course contact our bookstore and they can help you with that. And what I'm going to do after you leave this appointment is I'm going to just send you an email with a list of all the things we've talked about and all the contact information for the business office, the bookstore. You know, there's lots of things that we've talked about today, so I will give you a list of all of that so you'll have it. But I will also show you how to access that information on your self-service account if you would like.
Yes.
And your self-service account you will get very familiar with your time at PCC, because that's where you will enroll. That's where you'll be able to look at any financial statements you have, any book information. You can check your grades there. There's lots of things that you can do on that. So I think now would be a good time that we can go ahead and log on, and I'll show you how to view the books, and then we'll go ahead and get you enrolled for your classes. Okay,
yeah,
so if you just want to come on around over here. Okay, if you just want to have a seat, and then you should already have access to this. You should have received your email and password already. So if you want to go ahead and log on. Okay, let me just explain a few things really quickly. There are several tabs up here. If you just want to, I'll let you kind of run it and I'll just explain. The very first tab is just the home button. That's where some very basic things are. The next one over is the register tab, and that's what we're going to do today, is register for your courses. The next one over is the advising tab. That's where you'll find my contact information and other you know, how to get a hold of me and things like that. Then classes, just what courses you're enrolled in. You can look at your schedule. The next one is finances. That one's kind of important. If you just want to check your balance, find out how much you owe, see what financial aid you might have available.
And will that one show like my payment plan and stuff like that?
Yes, it will. After you get that set up, it'll show what you have due when. And then the next one is grades. That's pretty self-explanatory. Just checking your grades, you know, to see how you're doing in the class. You'll become pretty familiar with that one as well, I'm sure. And then the last one is the search tab, and that is also part of the enrollment process, how you will search for a course. And I can show you how to view the books once we get your specific classes.